While world leaders applauded the opening of the wall, the U.S., France, and Britain offered their military camps in West Germany to help handle the possible flood of refugees from the east. West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl cut short a visit to Poland to join the celebrations in West Berlin. We have a report from West Berlin by ITN correspondent Bill Neely.
The Brandenburg Gate, symbol of Imperial Germany, can have seen few more dramatic days. West Berliners flocked there and scaled the wall that scarred their city. From the top, they chanted, "Down with the wall." East German guards looked on, beyond an astonished crowd in East Berlin. West Berliners who've seen the wall built say these scenes change everything.
And I was thinking, the wall will never fall.
What are you thinking now?
The wall will fall.
Others tore chunks from the foundations.
This is a piece of a wall, from the wall from 3 o'clock in the morning.
The singing has gone on all day. It was there to greet the man who was mayor when the wall was built. He says today is its end.
Yes, historically it is. It may be there, still be there for some time as a monument. I even advocate that we preserve a little part of it for the museum.
200 yards from where he spoke, simple crosses to 25 of those shot trying to cross the wall. The last killed just 7 months ago. Across the city at Checkpoint Charlie, 1,400 East Germans came west today, some just for a look, some to stay. Tonight, Chancellor Helmut Kohl and ex-Chancellor Brandt confirmed the new dawn, and they did so at the spot where President Kennedy declared, on behalf of all Westerners, that he too was a Berliner.
In London, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was asked for her reaction to the developments in East Germany.
I think you're going much too fast, much too fast. You have to take these things step by step and handle them very wisely. They say now that they want a genuine democracy in East Germany. It's one thing to say it, but you really have to apply yourself to build it. The fact is, none of this would have happened without the vision and the courage of Mr. Gorbachev, who started to enlarge liberty in the Soviet Union, who saw what was happening in Poland and then said, look, so long as you stay in the Warsaw Pact group of countries, yes, rebuild your own democracy. And in Hungary. That is really a visionary man who's known what it was like to live under the old system and wishes better things for his people.
And the Soviet reaction to the rush of change in East Germany continued to be favorable. But there were words of caution today about a rush to a reunification of Germany. We have a report from Moscow by ITN's David Smith.
The newspapers here this morning reported what was happening in Berlin, but without any comment. The Soviets had encouraged the East Germans to do it. Now they let the story tell itself. So tonight on Soviet television, pictures from the Berlin Wall. Images of freedom that touch emotions not just in the West, but in the Soviet Union as well. Images that raise so many questions for Mr. Gorbachev. Hardly surprising, then, that the Soviets stressed the dangers ahead when they praised the East Germans tonight. The flood of refugees, they said, would hopefully ease soon. And if the West tried to push the idea of reunification, they'd be told it was out of the question.
Were the Soviets surprised at the speed of the change?
Yes. Everybody is surprised with the speed of the change.
Are you concerned about it? Are you concerned about it? I mean, how worried are you?
Not about the speed, but about the possible instability.
At the end of a monumental week here as well, the plus side for Mr. Gorbachev is that his philosophy of reform, whatever the risks, has won out in Eastern Europe. But the future's a political minefield. Like it or not, reunification of the two Germanys is on the agenda. After Berlin, perestroika enters uncharted territory.
Oh, I guess the wall is not yet down, you see, but the people are up on the wall. I guess I would not, you see, particularly limit myself to this last 24 hours. But the process of perestroika in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe generally, of course, is a milestone in the relations between the East and the West.
Do you ever see a day when the Berlin Wall would come down and that there would be reunification?
What about the fate of Germany? That's an open question, you see. And neither I nor anyone else could now come with a solution. But the only answer is that there should not be a solution which would recreate some militaristic force in the heart of Europe.
The other imponderable for Mr. Gorbachev is what effect this will have on his own people. Today, as always, they were queuing up at the American embassy in Moscow for visas to emigrate. They want out of the Soviet Union. So too do the peoples of the Baltics, of Azerbaijan and Armenia. For them, the Berlin Wall is a powerful symbol. It would be good if it could happen here, one man said. In the circumstances, it's hard to see the Soviets sticking to Foreign Minister Shevardnadze's line. The next month's superpowers summit will not be a negotiating session. East Germany changes that. What does it mean for the meeting in the Mediterranean?
Another interesting item to discuss.
Top of the agenda?
Well, there's no agenda. No, there is no top and no bottom, except the bottom of the Mediterranean.
Behind that good humour, though, the Soviets are giving due warning that they want the meeting in the Mediterranean to be devoted primarily to Eastern Europe, and that they expect the Bush administration to help them bring stability, not make political capital out of their crisis.
Moscow indicated today it would not give its own restive republics the free hand it is now permitting East Bloc neighbors. The Kremlin ordered Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, and Azerbaijan to drop new laws strengthening their political and economic independence, saying they contravened the Soviet constitution. In the Soviet Republic of Moldavia this evening, a crowd of several thousand people clashed with Soviet police and troops. The fighting began early this evening and continued for several hours. There were reports of many injuries. And in Bulgaria, one of the longest-serving leaders in the communist bloc, President Todor Zhivkov, resigned today after 35 years in power. He was replaced by Petar Mladenov, known as a relative moderate.